So just because now your expenses at home are higher, you can't on the third month you're like, oh no, now I'm gonna take 7,000 because I need more. Your salary is 5 and keep it at 5. And therefore your lifestyle must stay at 5,000 until your business gets to a point where it's making profit, and then you can then increase. And so I think that a lot of times businesses don't set like very serious governance. I mean, governance at corporate setup. You need to set up, even if your business is small, take it seriously and set those governance.
At what stage in your life did you realize that financial literacy is such an important tool to have in order to progress money-wise, health-wise, just having peace of mind?
I think in my case I was fortunate because coming from R&B, working in, I was exposed to that. So I think I saw that exposure where, ultra high net worth clients. And so there was a little bit of that exposure. And I mean, this is obviously not something that will be common for every South African. And so you started seeing how people were actually building their wealth, how they spent their money, and the things they did. And, for me, I was like, okay, I want to be like that. I want to be like this. So I got an insight of that. And I think that when I then became a business person, everything that I learned, and like I said, it's all through experience. It's nothing that I learned at school. It's because of the profession that I was in and the people I would interact with. Then eventually I started to copy. To say, oh, these guys they had wills. They had life cover. Insurance. And even how they structure their wealth, and properties and all of these things that they started doing. I was like, oh, well, let me try it. I've seen it, but I want to try it. And then eventually from trying it and speaking to people that are obviously expertise in those fields, then I was like, okay, cool. I mean, even now, I'm not saying I'm there yet, but I feel like my path is really, coming nicely in terms of wealth creation. And understanding what does wealth creation mean. Setting up a trust for your children, and how you can, protect your assets and things like that. Those are things that our parents didn't necessarily do. And these are things that we want to do better, that when we're no longer around, our kids and their children's children can be well taken care of.
For sure. And that's the aim, because you've gone past self-actualization and you just now want to do for others, and that's what we wake up for. You being an entrepreneur, being a businessman, me the same, and that's what this platform is there for. So I'm just really glad that we're having this conversation, because it's a very important conversation. And to me, the reason why we do this kind of conversation is to know that there's, we're not far from people. Like, I had nothing from Ghana. I know you personally. So it's not something that I'm going to say, to me, you come from a very wealthy family. We know ourselves. We know the struggle. But with education, that's what we had. You researched your gym industry, fitness industry, every single day.
And I was always talking about it.
Every single day. And you come up and say, this is not chipped properly, and I'm not sitting properly. Echo, this is how you sit, and this is how the bench is supposed to look like, because you did your homework, right? And that's all part of the education that we're driving. And to me, it's more about a young guy, a young lady out there looking at us and saying, these guys did it from nothing. All they did was setting goals, persevering, and learning.
And discipline. Yes, discipline. I feel like you don't have to be the smartest person in the world. I think most people that are successful are disciplined. It's you look at the most successful sports players, Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan practiced harder than everyone else. During off season, he was really crafting his shots, and he spent more hours. And the discipline Because discipline is not nice.
Yes.
Discipline is like studying when you don't want to.
Yes.
Discipline is waking up at 5 o'clock when you don't feel like it.
Yes.
Because you could rather be at home and watching Netflix.
Yes.
But the discipline that says, you know what, let me just wake up and do it.
Yes.
And that is what will differentiate you from the rest of the world.
Yes. And I'm glad you mentioned Michael Jordan. And that is the reason why he's only one of the 15 black billionaires in this world.
Yeah.
Discipline got him there. So, and again, it goes into finances and everything that you do. So I'm glad we have that. But now, to me, my question is, what do you think are the common mistakes that businesses, and predominantly black business owners, are doing with regards to money management or business management skills?
So I think businesses or business owners will tend to treat their businesses without the necessary governance and the structure. And so maybe you start small, right?
Yes.
And you're like, oh no, my business is still small. I really think that the governance should be set up in the beginning.
Yes.
So when I say governance, it means like if your salary is 5,000 rands a month,
Yes.
then your salary must be 5,000 rands a month.
Yes.
So just because now your expenses at home are higher, you can't on the third month be like, oh no, now I'm gonna take 7,000
Yeah.
because I need more. Your salary is 5 and
Yes.
keep it at 5.
Yes.
And therefore your lifestyle must stay at 5,000
Yeah.
until your business gets to a point where it's making profit, and then you can then increase. And so I think that a lot of times businesses don't set like very serious governance.
Yes.
I mean, governance at corporate setup.
Yes.
You need to set up, even if your business is small, take it seriously and set those governance. And then I think the second one is a lot of businesses they build businesses in isolation.
Yeah.
So when I mean by building a business in isolation is that you have to build a business and know where your market is. And so a lot of guys will say, hey, I want to start a spaza shop in this corner.
Yeah.
But you're building it in isolation because you don't necessarily know if there's a market for that.
Yeah.
And so when you set up the spaza shop in the corner, there's no market.
Yeah.
There's no customer
Traffic coming through.
Yes.
Yes.
And so you cannot build your business in isolation. You have to make sure that there's a book that I used to read. It's called The Lean Startup.
Yeah.
By Eric Ries, and he says that you need to do a minimum viable product, where you need to test your product before you put it out there, so that you can see if there's appetite.
Yes.
And I think once you can get those two things, you're on your way to business success.
Very critical, and big ups to what you're doing.
Thank you
I'm a
very
big
much.
fan of you.
Thank you, sir.
I'm a
big fan of you too.
I've always
know?
been, you know
So,
that, right?
yes,
so
yes.
so I'm glad that we've helped each other
Yes.
conversationally.
Yes.
We've helped each other, impacting knowledge and wisdom in
Yes.
each other, and now we're doing what we do. And I always say the world is our oyster. It's up to us to stop or to limit ourselves. So big fan. Keep on doing what you're doing.
sir.
I'm hoping that next time when we talk, we'll be on number 50. James.
Yeah, big
so yeah, for sure.
Big
Thanks very much. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. To me, and this is our first official conversation. So it's new to me. It's new. Not new to you, but on this channel.
Yeah.
So hopefully that goes.